clearly there was obviously disappointment in the aftermath of it, and it's always emotionally challenging and difficult. But yeah, I think you can't dwell on it. Obviously, you've got to look at it and analyse it. But very quickly, you have to move on, and that's the nature of professional sports. So we're you have that day to grieve, which is never nice. But I always think that setbacks like that are always a great opportunity to grow and bounce back, even to a higher level than what you were when you started the game. So we're back on it, working well today, and then get ready for the game at the weekend.
Hello again, everybody. Warm welcome back to the Celtic for our podcast. Ross County versus Celtic on Sunday, 12 o'clock kickoff. Everybody's looking forward to it, obviously, after Tuesday night, the poor showing on Tuesday night. Let's bring in John. We've had a few days, John, to look back on this game and have our wee thoughts about it. What are you thinking yourself?
To be honest with you, I haven't gave it much thought at all. But just been thinking about the upcoming game against Ross County, which is to me a more important game. Getting the 3 points in the bag, continue with our fantastic form in the league. That's all that matters to me, Xander. We'll get to the last 16 via our home game. So I'm not really concerned about that game, to be honest with you. That's long gone.
Yeah, it's long gone, John. And we've already had a say on it as well. We don't want to spend too much time on it, but obviously there's been a massive feedback from the game, from supporters, the players, etc. Callum McGregor with a heartfelt apology to the supporters as well, John. I thought it was quite nice of Callum. We didn't need to do that. We're up against a world-class team, Champions League team, Champions League finalists, John. I thought that was good of the captain to do that.
Well, I did say the Celtic players owe the Celtic fans a big performance against Ross County. I meant that when I said it. I think they owe Celtic fans a big performance, and I think it's just doing the honourable thing that probably any captain in that situation would do, to be honest with you. But it was nice that he actually came out and said that, and he's no wrong. Like the day owe the Celtic fans a big performance. Maybe no an apology as much, but a big performance against Ross County will suffice for me.
Yeah, well, and for all of us, I think. But a wee sweetener for the manager, Brendan, getting manager of the month as well. John comes back from Germany to pick up the manager of the month award for September. That's just a wee sweetener for the manager. Just proves how well he's done in the league, John. The start of the season, just a wee token of appreciation that he's done so well at the start of this season.
Aye, that'll give Brendan a wee bit encouragement, But what he deserves is manager of the month. No conceded any goals in the league. I think that's probably what edged it for him there. I think possibly.
Yeah, that's it.
Because you've got to take into account Aberdeen as well. Their manager's done a fantastic job as well. So I think it's probably down to the fact that he's not conceded any goals.
Yeah. It's a strange one, isn't it, Johnny? You don't concede any goals in the league in about 7 games, and then you concede 7 in 1 game. It's mystifying, isn't it? The only reason is the top quality opposition we were up against, John. Bit of housekeeping, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well, please, and hit that notification bell as well. Right, that'll do that, John. We'll go into the competition, folks, a wee bit later on. We'll leave that for now, but there is going to be a competition, correct score competition this week, and we'll do that halfway through the podcast. All right, John, let's get into the preview of the big match then, John. The Ross County, as you say, John, it's 3 points. It's the most important thing here, isn't it? With both Aberdeen and Rangers playing after us for a wee change, both playing on later Sunday afternoon, John. Both of them kick off at 3, I think. In fact, no, Rangers kick off at 8 o'clock, which I think is quite strange for a Sunday night, isn't it? But Aberdeen kick off at 3. So we kick off at 12, right? That's our kick-off time, John. Don Cowie is the manager in charge of Ross County. John, I didn't know Don Cowie is in charge of them just now. But obviously, you're going to look into that because we're up against them. So, John, he's off the back of 3 decent results, unbeaten in 3. And they got a decent, result against Hearts last weekend. I think it was a draw, 2-each draw. I think Hearts had to score a 4th-minute injury time equaliser, John. So they were unlucky, Ross County, against Hearts. But they're on slightly better form, Ross County.
Aye, 1 each with Hearts.
Yeah.
Aye, that a wee bit of form. Wrong time for Celtic. Look, they're coming up against Celtic. They're going to come up against a far superior team than they've played this season. So we'll see how they cope with that. And I do think Celtic will be able to make amends after Tuesday night. They've had 4 days rest. So they'll be well prepared for it. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to, John, to get back into the action. And the annoying thing about this game, John, is, if we do get the win, and obviously we're going to talk about that, there's another international break, John, right after it. We have to wait another 2 weeks before we play Aberdeen at Celtic Park on the 19th. So these international breaks, breaking up the flow, breaking up the form, John, because we're in top form in the league. So it's another international break. Can we do without it? But there's nothing we can do about it. So it's the last game, John, before the international break. So 3 points vital.
3 points is always vital. International breaks, like you say, it just disturbs the flow. And I can't be doing that, to be honest with you. I mean, I like Scotland, but to be honest with you, right now, I'm not that interested. I'd rather be kept the season going. And unfortunately for us, most of our players are international players, so there's always that risk that somebody could pick up a serious knock.
I know, that's a worry. It really is. So we've already got a few injuries for Sunday's game, John. Well, a couple anyway, at least. All right, John. So as I say, it's a 12 o'clock kick-off anyway, John. The Global Energy Stadium is what it's now called, Dingwall, as we all know it. Wee small compact stadium, and it's the low camera again, John. You know what it's like with that, cameraman standing on a crate. I don't know. I don't understand why, John, they can't just get a 10 feet bit of scaffolding and put it in Dingwall. It's just for that better, that wee bit of better quality camera work, John's a wee bit higher, where you can actually see what's happening in front of you. This your head level camera's just no use, John.
No, we discussed that a while ago, sure, how a bit of scaffolding helps at some of these stadiums. There's a lot of safety concerns, I take it. That comes into it. But do you see it in some stadiums that the camera's up on a scaffolding? You see it behind the goals or whatever. You always see these scaffoldings up with cameramen sitting on top of them. So surely there must be a better way to get a higher position camera. Like you says, I can't stand that low camera. It doesn't give you a true sense of the match. You're having to look through players to see the ball and stuff. It's too low, and I totally agree with you. Stick the camera up on top of the floodlights.
Yeah, that's it, John. Yeah, they could do a better job up there, but it's been the same for years, isn't it? When you go up to Dingwall. So nothing's going to change there. We can just voice our opinion, I suppose. Game's live on Sky, 12 o'clock kick-off. Clancy's the ref, John. Clancy's the referee. Nick Walsh on the VAR. So that's your officials for the game. And I said a minute ago, John, that the game's on Sky. I'm going to come away from the preview for a wee second. This walloper, pardon my language, but this walloper, Chris Boyd, John, his reaction to Celtic losing against Borussia Dortmund, it's all over the place, isn't it? Cheering, laughing, jumping for joy. Obviously the payback was lovely on Thursday night against Lyon. Obviously that we're going to talk about that on Rivals Corner. But I wanted to touch on this idiot, Chris Boyd, John. What happened to all these analysis people, John, all these football experts, on the Sky, the BBC, whatever, John, whatever channel, wanting the best for Scottish football. This clown Boyd, John, they need to get rid of this idiot.
I wasn't aware, but I can picture it. really scraping the barrel with Chris Boyd. You know, it's as simple as that. And there's other ex-Rangers player pundits are like that as well. But you're talking about Chris Boyd, so we'll talk about him. Sky scraping the barrel. The guy's got absolutely no class whatsoever. Absolutely no class. It shouldn't be a pundit. It's as simple as that. It's just a cheerleader. And we don't need to be seeing that. These guys are broadcasting to the public. They're supposed to be impartial. There's absolutely zero impartiality. The guy can't hide his love for them. I know Chris Sutton loves Celtic, but he certainly doesn't behave like that. And other guys like Stan Petrov and that, very professional. Chris Boyd's basically, you're scraping the dregs when you've got him as a pundit. It's pretty poor from Sky, I think, employing that guy.
Yeah, it's as you say. I mean, unprofessional doesn't even cover it, does it, John? It really doesn't cover it. The guy just, I don't know what he should be doing, but he shouldn't be on the telly. You're commentating it on Scottish football. That's the way I look at it. You know, maybe he'd be better suited. I don't know, John. I don't know. The lowest job possible for him. That's the way I look at it. Right, back to the preview, John. Let's get into the team news for both teams. No Carter Vickers, no Greg Taylor. We all know that. Everybody knows that. Carter Vickers still out with his toe. Greg Taylor out with a calf injury, and both expected to return after the international break to face Aberdeen, John. So I suppose that's good news that both will be available for Aberdeen, but both missing for the big game on Sunday, John.
Aye. I'm not sure about this makeshift defence right now. This trusty guy that doesn't have a right foot. Well, he's got a right foot, he just can't use it. And what's the other boy's name? Alex Valley. Still no really sold on him, what I've seen so far. Seems to put in a half decent effort, but I think the depleted backline can be a problem for Celtic, Xander. I definitely do. I don't think Trusty playing on the right hand side, a central defence, it doesn't fill me with confidence at all. He's got to turn his whole body to make a pass with his left foot, and that makes me very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it does, John. But he is the covered centre back, John. 6 million he cost us, the big Trusty. But he is there, John. He's going to be playing, so hopefully he puts in a stellar performance. Alex Valley, I think he's decent. This is his first league start, John, for Alex Valley. So obviously started in the cup game against Falkirk. So good luck to both of them anyway, John. But we've got to play him because I don't think he'll be starting the Rocky. But he might surprise us, John. He might start in the Rocky, but I think it'll be the £6 million man.
I think so. I mean, has Liam Scales got a right foot? Why not try Liam Scales on the right if he can use his right foot just for passing? Because we need somebody that does not have to twist his whole body to make a pass. Every time I watch that, I'm hiding my eyes. It's just something I'm not comfortable with at all. I've never been comfortable watching a defender playing on the wrong side when he's only one-footed.
That's true, yeah. But you know, he is playing out of position. I know he's a centre half, but he is playing out of position, isn't he? So I think it'd be worth a try, just swapping Scales and him, swapping them about. You know, to see how it goes. If it doesn't work the first 15 minutes, you know, put them back to where they were. You know, you can always try these things, John. There's no law in trying something different, is there? Arthur Johnson, he came off the other night with a tweak, a wee slight injury, wee knock, but he should be okay. So apart from the two defenders, John Taylor and Vickers, it's more or less a full team to pick from. Let's have a wee quick look at Ross County injury news. They've got quite a few injuries that have been confirmed as not playing, John, for Sunday. So these are confirmations of players that are on the plane. George Hamilton's out. Josh Reid is out. Ricky Lamy is out. And Max Sheaf, John. So that's 4 of their first players are out injured. So I don't know if they're regulars or no, John. I'm just commenting on the players they've got out. So we've got 2 out, they've got 4 out, John. So, but we'll wait and see how that affects the game. Odds. Let's have a wee touch on the odds, John. I like to do this, but not too long on this. Just a wee quick one, right? Ross County 16-1 at home, John. That's unbelievable, isn't it? 16-1 at home. The draw is 17-2, and Celtic are 1-6. 1-6, John. So that's your odds. 16-1 for Ross County at home, John. That's really, really outside odds, isn't it? 16-1.
It's whopping odds at your home ground. But look, they've hit a wee bit of form. I've not seen Ross County this season, so I can't comment on them at all. I don't know what new players they've brought in or anything. It's whopping odds, 16-1. Good odds for Celtic at 61.
Yeah, 1-6. Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it, John?
1-6, sorry.
It's I mean, that's given Ross County absolutely no chance whatsoever. But it's never like that when we go up to Dingwall, John. It's always sticky, it's tricky, it's tight, it's a battle as well, John. It's always a battle when we go up there, isn't it?
It certainly is. Get the first goal, that kind of settles the team. So you have to just push for an early goal. I just hope that defeating Tuesday has affected the players in any way at all. But I'm sure they'll be out to make it up to the Celtic fans. That's my feeling right now. Let's hope that's correct.
Yeah, let's hope so, John. I think it will be. I think we'll be okay. Then we'll come out with a win tomorrow. Very confident about that, John. I'm sure you are as well. Let's have a wee look at the correct score odds then, John. 3-0 and 2-0 is priced at 13-2. If you fancy a close game, 2-1 to Celtic, that's priced at 91. And a wee high scoring game, 4-0 to Celtic, is priced at 10-1. And both teams to score. I thought this was interesting, John. Both teams to score. I think they put the odds in this. I think they've changed the odds on this because of the 7 goals we conceded. So they're giving Ross County a chance to score a goal because both teams to score is priced at evens, John. So that's normally the bookies don't give any team a chance to score against Celtic, but both teams to score is priced at evens, John. So all right, that wraps that up. That wraps up your odds, because we always like to have a wee look at the odds, don't we, John, to see what the bookies think of Celtic and currently, if you like, and gamble responsibly as well, folks. If you put any bets on, it's just a wee bit of fun for us. All right, John, form going into this one. So as I said earlier, Ross County, they came off a 3-game unbeaten run, but 2 of their games were draws, weren't they? So their form is draw, 1, loss, John. So the last 3, yeah, but before that they were pretty poor, and they're up against the champions.
Up against the champions, so you can add another loss to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Obviously, we don't know what the score's going to be, but I'm pretty confident it's going to be a Celtic win. So I think you can add another loss to that list.
Yeah, I think so, John. And obviously, our form going into this, we didn't really need to spend too much time on this. We're flying domestically, John, absolutely flying. But we're also flying in Europe as well with that 5-1 win over Bratislava. But we'll not go there again, John. We've parked that until the next Champions League game against Atalanta. We'll bring everything back up then. But no, John, we are absolutely flying domestically, John. I mean, not conceded a single goal in the league. Flying in the League Cup as well, John. So I'm like you. I only see one winner.
That's the way it's looking, isn't it? Like I says, we can only just hope that Tuesday hasn't affected them. That's all we can hope for. We'll find out 12 o'clock. That's all I can say. We are flying. It's great form in the league, great form in the cup. Beat Bratislava 5-1. So the only thing we can hope for is that result in midweek hasn't affected the team. I don't think it will. I think they'll be able to make amends.
Yeah, John, we've had defeats in the past under Brendan and Europe, and always came back, to impressive victories in the league. So we're hoping for the same again. All right, John. So just a quick predicted lineup. I predicted 1-11. John, what are you thinking?
Schmeichel, Trusty, Scales, Valley, Alistair Johnson, Callum McGregor. I think Hatate's going to get a start. So I'm going to go for the centre of the park. I'm going to say McGregor, Hatate and Engels. Up front, Maeda. I think he'll possibly start with Kyogo tomorrow. And as usual, Nicholas Kuhn on the right.
Yeah. Yeah, a few of these boys are about to prove a point, John. And by the way, my team's the exact same. I think Hatate will start as well. I've seen a very, very poor. I know the whole team is poor, John, right? Don't get me wrong. The whole team is poor on Tuesday night, but Bernardo looked, as if he had a bit of stage fright there. So I know he's just a young lad, but, I think you'll start with Hatate. Good surprises, and just start Bernardo because he is a very good midfielder. Engels as well, John. He could drop Engels. You don't know. We just don't know what's gone through the manager's mind after Tuesday night. Kyogo, John. I don't know. It could be either. Because obviously Ross County, they're always a big physical strapping team. They've got big giants in defence. So maybe either with the choice for the manager, but we don't know. I'm just going to go with you, John. I'm going to go with your lineup. I totally agree. I think it's going to go with what you said. And what's your 1-11 Ross County lineup, John?
I couldn't tell you one of the players, but apart from the ones that you said was injured, it's going to be them.
Yeah, I agree. All right. All right, John. All right, score prediction time. This is we need to start getting a few of these right. I think, John. I'm going to think about this one. So, I've got a rough idea what I think it's going to be. What are you thinking score wise?
I think Celtic's going to lose their winning streak of no conceding goals. I think they'll concede tomorrow, and I'm going to say 4-1 Celtic.
Yeah. I was thinking that, John. I was thinking that, and obviously it's not a makeshift, but it is a makeshift defence. Let's be honest, it is with Taylor and Carter Vickers missing. So I agree with you, John. I think we could concede a goal tomorrow. I think we could. But I'm going to go against it, John, and I'm going to say 4-0 to Celtic on Sunday. So, but I just worry about that defence. I really do, especially after conceding the 7 in midweek. So, you say 4-1, John. I say 4-0. Hopefully, both of us are right. Hopefully, one of us are right. Sorry. Hopefully, one of us are right. And we can just get the 3 points and they get into that international break clear at the top of the league, John.
Aye, well, if you think Celtic will lose their clean sheets, why are you saying 4-0?
Because I'm going to go against what I think, John. I'm going to go against it. I'm going to go against what I think and say 4-0, John. I just think, the players are about there to prove a point. They defenders, John. So I hope I'm right. By the way, I hope it is 4-0. We don't concede a goal because we want to get that new record, don't we? That new clean sheet record.
Absolutely, aye. I'll take 4-0 right now. I'll also take 4-1. I'm not really that concerned about the records and stuff like that. I mean, it is good to get them, but 3 points is the most important thing. But right now, I'll take 4-1. That would do lovely. I'll take 2-1. Any kind of 3 points in the bag, I'll take it. I don't care what the score is, as long as Celtic get 3 points.
Yeah, that's it, John. And by the way, just off the bat, 4-0 is 10-1, and 4-1 is 12-1. So that's your prices on our correct scores, John. All right, okay, that's it. That wraps up your preview.
Well, hang, did you say 12-1 for 4-1, but
yeah,
10-1 for 4-0?
Uh-huh.
So the bookies on the game Ross County much a chance to score there then?
Not 4-0, John, or 4-1 now. But 4-1. I mean, correct scores are very difficult to predict, and they're very difficult. So I think that's a decent wee price for 12-1 for 4-1, John. So, but I'll stick to the 4-0, John. Although I do think that we could concede on Sunday. I hope I'm wrong. I really do, because I'd like us to get that record, John.
Aye, it's always good to get records, beating records. I will. I hope it's 4-0. I honestly hope it's 4-0. My 4-1 prediction is just based on conceding goals in midweek. There might be a wee bit of vulnerability in the back line. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope we don't concede, but I can see maybe a wee goal getting conceded. And I hope I'm totally wrong, and I hope it's 4-0. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'd also take a last-minute winner like a couple of years ago, John, to win the game by one goal. I'd take any sort of win, anyone, just get us back on the winning ways. That's all we're looking for. Right, John, let's look at some of the fixtures over the weekend then. Because we were quite accurate last weekend with our predictions actually in the SPL. So let's run through it again this week. Dundee against Kilmarnock, John. Quick prediction.
Dundee against Kilmarnock. I'm going to say 1 each.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Dundee and Kilmarnock. They're sort of both up and down. So 2 each for me. I'll say a draw as well. 2 each. Hibs, Motherwell.
Hibs at home. I think they've got a wee bit of, I don't know. I was going to say bad luck, but they're quite a poor team. Hibs. I'm going to go for a Motherwell win. I'm going to say 2-1 Motherwell.
Yeah, I'm going for a draw, John. 1 each. So just taking a wee note of these. 1 each. And finally today is St Mirren Dundee United.
A tough one. That is a tough one. Obviously, I want Dundee United to win because I like Dundee United, but St Mirren at home against Dundee United, I'm going to say a narrow win for St Mirren. I'm going to say 1-0 St Mirren.
I think St Mirren as well, John. 1 goal in it. 2-0. 2-0 St Mirren. All right, John, that's it for the day. Then we're moving to Sunday. Ross County Celtic we've already had, so we don't need to go into that. Aberdeen Hearts, John, now. Right, Hearts are just off the back of a very good win in Europe in midweek. A very, last minute winner, wasn't it? A very, very good win. So their tails will be up slightly. Aberdeen sitting top of the league. It's at Pittodrie as well, remember. What are you thinking, John?
I watched a wee bit of that game. I caught the last minute winner. Hearts, empty stadium, no fans. Yet another team playing in a different country, Dynamo Minsk, having to play their games in a different country. No fans. So more like a friendly kind of game, when there's no fans. But well done to Hearts. It's a good win for them away from home anyway. But Aberdeen against Hearts, I think Aberdeen too strong, Xander. I'm going to say, and you've got to remember, Hearts they've not had much time to rest either. So based on that, I'm going to say Aberdeen 3, Hearts 0.
Wow. Totally opposite for you, John. I think Hearts are going to get a result. And I think Hearts are going to get a draw. John, I know it's my third draw, but I think Hearts are going to come out of there with a 1 each draw. So 3-0 to Aberdeen, John. There you go, eh? They really are flying, aren't they? And finally, St John's. I mean, this is a gimme for Rangers. Rangers against St Johnstone. Just very quickly, John, what do you think?
Aberdeen's flying, by the way. I've watched them a few times this season. I don't think Hearts will get close to them. But anyway, Rangers against St Johnstone, there's only one winner, really, isn't there? St Johnstone on the back of a 6-0 thumping from Celtic, of course. Rangers playing at home. I can only see one winner. I'm going to say 4-0 Rangers.
Aye. European hangover 3-0. All right, John, that wraps it up. Okay, I've took a wee note of them. Right, we'll go through these on the post-match on Monday, John. For the Ross County game, we'll go through all these scores. All right, John, so that wraps that up. That's the fixtures then. Let's have a wee quick touch on Rivals Corner, because there's a wee bit to go through here, John. Rangers, the chance of closure of stands after setting off fireworks inside the stadium. I text you in midweek there, John. I said I saw 3 wee guys walking by with packets of fireworks ready to set off because they thought they were going to get the result against Leon, and just to set off fireworks all night once they beat Leon. Obviously, that never happened. But John, there's a chance of the firework daft, didn't they? There really are. There's a chance of the stands getting closed, John. UEFA looking into this. Safety fears. The referee had to stop the game because of safety fears inside the stadium, John. So that game was delayed. It's just a farce, isn't it? The game gets stopped, fireworks getting set off, safety fears for the referee. UEFA looking into their club to close stands. What's your take on that, John?
It's dangerous. I seen the fireworks at the game last year against Rangers at Hampden last season. They were firing rockets there towards the Celtic fans. You could see it on the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very dangerous. These people are totally brainless. By the way, I'm not saying all Rangers fans. I'm saying the ones that fire the fireworks. Totally brainless thing to do. Totally brainless. Very dangerous. You're firing fireworks into a big crowd. It could cause all sorts of things, crushes and all that. People try to get away from it. Aye, they're absolute morons. Anybody that fires fireworks into a big crowd, you seriously need locking away. There's something no right with you. And like he says, the fireworks daft, didn't they? They love all that stuff. Every time Celtic drop a point or lose a game or whatever, it's like Guy Fawkes night in Glasgow. I know that from experience. I don't know. I close their stands. If that's what they're doing, firing fireworks onto the pitch or into crowds, close the stands.
Yeah.
They can't be trusted, Xander. It's as simple as that. It's not just fireworks, it's bottle throwing and all that as well. They're notoriously bad fans. And something should be done about it, and no before time. They've been getting away with it for too long.
Yeah. It's a safety issue for their own supporters as well, John. Decent people that are in the stands, John. The decent supporters that are in the stands. As you say, try to get away from it. They're causing havoc and hassle for their own supporters inside that stadium, John, because not everybody wants to see that. I don't think anybody wants to see it apart from the morons, as you say. But yeah, they're causing havoc for their own supporters as well, John. And it means in the future that some of their supporters will not be able to get to the game because stands are going to be closed. So it's total stupidity, John. Total stupidity. It really is. So hopefully UEFA do hammer them for that, to be honest with you. And maybe that'll put an end to that eventually inside the stadium, because it's never going to put an end to it outside the stadium.
You can't stop it outside the stadium. The only thing you can do to stop that outside the stadium is to ban fireworks altogether. Just ban them. We don't need them. What's the point in them? What's actually the point in fireworks? I've never liked fireworks. Never seen the point in it. I've never seen the point in going out and spending 50 quid in a box of bangers and everybody else gets the pleasure of seeing them going off. You're the mug that spent the money. So it's a totally pointless thing, fireworks. I think the last time, in fact, we fired fireworks after we won the league one night, did we not?
After saying all that, we say we set them off. Aye, no, John.
But that was a league winning celebration. That wasn't just your average. We've beat Ross County. Let's go out and fire off 10 boxes of fireworks.
Yeah, no, John, I've done it myself, and I'm right. I agree with you. I think they should be banned. To be honest with you, I'd be quite happy to see an outright ban on all fireworks. I'd be happy with that. I'd be happy if I never see another rocket going off in my life, to be honest with you. There's enough rockets going off in Europe. So, all right, John, let's move back to the football. Enough of that, right? Fireworks and stuff. Leon, John, right? They laughed at us. The Rangers fans laughed at us, right, for the 7-1. They loved it. They were on social media sites, pointing fingers, laughing, joking, having a right rare old tear at the Celtic. But that's before they played their game against Leon, John, right? That's before, more stupidity, to be honest with you. Do it once you've played your game. You know, don't do it before you've played your own game. So they play Lyon on Thursday night, John. They play Lyon. Joint 14th there, John. I think they're sitting maybe 11th, but they're joint 14th in the league, in the French league, John. They've won one league game all season, Lyon. They're a UEFA Cup team as well, John. I might add. They're not a Champions League team, they're a UEFA Cup team. They're very, very average. I think they've got one or two decent players. Don't get me wrong. They have, you know, the wee boy in the wing, you know, ripped them apart. The big centre forward they've got as well, ripped them apart, John. So, as I said on my Facebook video, and the heading for the video was, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, John. What do you think?
Aye. Sorry, I was having a drink here again. I watched that game, obviously, and I think they were totally outclassed. Rangers, they were totally outclassed. I thought Lyon were a very, very ordinary team. There's nothing special about them. But I do like the striker they've got and the boy that you say, I think his name's Fofana.
Yeah, Fofana, that's the boy.
What a player that wee guy is. But other than that, I think they're a pretty ordinary team. They're not blessed with great pace or anything like that, apart from Fofana. But Rangers were outclassed by them. Absolutely outclassed. And you've got to remember, they were playing at home as well. And that game could have been anything Lyon wanted it to be. The amount of sitters that Lyon missed, that game could have been 10-1s under, 11-1, something like that. So they get off very, very lightly. And aye. And it's a lesson for Rangers fans. Don't go on social media before your own team's played. Wait till after it. If you get a win, then you can brag about it. And don't get me wrong, if Rangers get beat 7-1, I would be bragging about it and laughing at them. I'm laughing at them getting beat 4-1. But aye, wait till your own team's played before you start going onto social media and laughing at Celtic. I mean, if I was a Rangers fan, I'd be disgusted with that performance, playing a very poor Lyon side. We won probably two really good players. But aye, outclassed them. I'm not going to go on and on about that. It is what it is. They get beat 4-1. It should have been 10-1. Simple.
Yep. At home, at Ibrox as well, John. And the UEFA Cup, not the Champions League, the UEFA Cup. All right, John. One more wee thing before we move on. Alan McCoist, John. he's another cheerleader, isn't he? But did you hear his commentary when a Rangers player pulled the ball down from a height? You know.
Oh, what a touch that is!
Listening to it just now, listen to it, John. It's superb. It's funny. It's really funny.
Oh, what a touch that is!
What do you make of this guy, John? Alan McCoist. The OBE, Alan McCoist. EBT to OBE, John. What do you think of this overreaction to somebody bringing the ball in and then running out to play?
I know the exact incident you're talking about because I was laughing at him. I was thinking, is that all that he's got to take out of that game? Oh, what a touch that is! And then runs out to play like he says. Oh, it was hilarious. Listen, I don't hate Alan McCoist. I don't mind him actually. I just turn the telly down when he's on sometimes. But obviously, I didn't have the TV turned down at that moment, thankfully, because that's one of the biggest laughs of the season. All they have to take out of that game is what a touch that was. Every player does that. Is it so special because it was a Rangers player? I can't even remember the player that done it. I can't remember. But very average touch. A high ball and he brings it down. Big deal. It happens in every game. Why is he getting excited about that? I just don't get it. I really, really don't get it. But I'm glad he says it because it gave us all a great laugh. And if anybody listening gets over to the Xander John page on Facebook, you'll see Xander's goals compilation of that. And every goal that Lyon scored, Xander put in the commentary, oh, what a touch that is.
Oh, what a touch that is, you know.
It was it just made a great night even funnier, to be honest with you. But Yeah, I'll put a link in the description, folks. If anybody wants to click on that, have a look at it. John, you said earlier you watched the game, right? I know I watched bits and bobs of it. I didn't see it all, but every Celtic fan must have watched the game, John, because that video you're talking about is now at 55,000 views. That's remarkable.
It was a cracking wee video. I've watched it about 20 times. Honestly, anybody listening, click on the link for the Facebook video, watch it, and you'll kill yourself laughing. Again, Xander did a great job editing that. You've got to remember it's Xander's work. He edited all the commentaries, the different commentaries and all that in it. So, aye, top notch, Xander. Well done. Loved it.
There's John. Thanks. I appreciate that. Wee bit of feedback. Appreciate that, buddy. Right, okay, let's move on then, John. Celtic B play Bo'ness today, away from home. So good luck to the boys. Celtic ladies drew 2 each with Rangers, didn't they, in midweek? So not a great result for the ladies there. Should be beating them, to be honest with you. Champions should be beating Rangers. So 2-2 anyway, John. A Desmond against Rangers, 2-2.
I watched a wee bit of that game, to be honest with you. It was that Rangers ladies team. I'm not being funny here, but I'll use the term Clyde built with a low centre of gravity. Honestly, the big lasses, you know, but they look like big.
Yeah, it's they're physical, John. They're physical. But the girls, the Celtic girls, couldn't do anything about it, John. They got a 2-2. I suppose that was good enough. I suppose it's.
Oh, it was a great comeback. I mean, they're 2-0 down, and they've came back to 2 each. So, I think they did well to get that result because they competed well in the game and managed to get it back to 2-2. I noticed there was a lot of Rangers fans there biting their nails ready for the big Leon game in the crowd. And thankfully, both sets, the ones at the ladies' game and the ones at Ibrox, went home unhappy.
Yeah, John, they were confident going into that game, that Leon game, to be honest with you. I saw them on 2 eyes. All right, Bruni Watch, John, let's move on to Bruni Watch. He's flying, Bruni, isn't he? He really is. Scott Brown, Ayr United, 3 points clear at the top of the league, John, after Falkirk getting beat last weekend and Ayr United beating Morton last weekend. So that moves Bruni and Ayr United up to top place in his championship. He's going to do it, John. He's going to do it. I'm confident. That 1-0 won last weekend. Brilliant result against Morton. And then today, John, this is one you need to try and get. Ayr United, Bruni's Ayr United against Falkirk, John. A top of the league clash. Ayr United win that one. I think it's done and dusted.
I don't know, because I think Falkirk's played a couple of games less than Ayr United. But it is a game changer, that one. And I think that'll give the Ayr United boys a lot of confidence going into the other fixtures. So, look, I think Scott Brown's going to get Ayr United at least into the playoffs for the Premier League. I can see it happening. He's got them playing fantastic stuff. If I can find that game, I'll definitely be watching that, because that's a real good fixture, that one.
Yeah, it's definitely one I'm going to try and look out for, John, because we're keeping an eye on Bruni all through the season, John. Even at the very start, before the ball was kicked, we kept an eye on him, and he's just totally flying. I think you're going to see Scott Brown in the Premier League next season, to be honest with you. And what an achievement that would be, John, if he did do that.
Aye, it's an achievement and a half. I think it will happen. I'm not sure if he'll win the league or just get into the playoffs. To get into the playoffs, you've got to finish, I think, third to get into the playoffs. So, aye, there's every chance. It's very early in the season. We've only played 6-7 games or whatever it is. There's a long, long way to go. Anything can happen, as we know. So, we'll just keep on keeping an eye on Bruni and wish him all the best.
Yeah, what a marker that would be if he beat Falkirk the day, John, wouldn't it? All right, John, before we get into the comments, just quickly, I want to run through the competition for this week. Correct score competition, but it's not just the correct score. We're also looking for a goal scorer, any goal scorer in the game, Ross County or Celtic, doesn't matter. So correct score and a goal scorer we're looking for, folks. One guess each into the comments. to win the Celtic Legends wall plaques. There it is on the screen, Celtic Legends wall plaque. That's up for grabs. So good luck everybody with that. One guess each, as I say. And the winner will be announced on the post-match on Monday. So good luck everybody with that, John. Right, comments?
I don't even have them ready, Xander. I had them on. Oh, they're there. I've got them. Apologies.
No bother, John.
I had them ready before I started, and then I noticed there was only one window open. I thought, where did the comments go? But there they are. So, as you can guess, it's probably all going to be about midweek.
Aye.
So, excuse me, UD first. He said, never seen Celtic play so bad in Europe. It's a reality check of where we're at. It's okay beating smaller teams like Bratislava, but we're miles behind teams like Dortmund in finances and players. That said, I think Celtic actually feared the occasion.
I think the performance was very, very low, a very poor performance. It just wasn't. I mean, we saw Celtic going away in Europe and getting beat and being unlucky, all that kind of stuff, John. But midweek there, we just never turned up. Nobody, and I mean nobody. Maybe a slightly better performance from Dyson, but nobody turned up in the squad, John. And it was, I was just glad that the squad was kept down to 7, to be honest with you, because if it wasn't for Casper in goals, John, I think we could have conceded more than 7.
Aye, just like Rangers could have conceded more than 4 if it wasn't for Butland.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what goalkeepers are there for. That's what they do. They keep the ball at the net, or they try to keep it out. But we're miles behind in terms of finance and players. We don't have the players that Borussia Dortmund's got, that's for sure.
No.
But I think Celtic are a better team than they showed, to be honest, Sander.
Oh, aye, they're a lot better team, John. They just, I don't know if they froze, or if it's a mentality thing, or if it's just an off day, John. It could have been any one of these things. Might have been a combination of them all. But the end result was what we saw on Tuesday night. So we just need to hope for improvements against Atalanta.
Aye, thanks for that, UD. Next up was Rosemary. She says, very balanced and a good listen, guys.
The post-match, John, we didn't go in too heavy. I know a lot of podcasters did go in quite heavy on Celtic, John. But we are Celtic forever. We are Celtic forever, win, lose or draw. So yeah, we didn't go in too heavy, did we?
No, look, you've got to be balanced, like Rosemary said. You've got to be balanced, and you've also got to be realistic. Celtic can't compete with that kind of team. These teams have got an open checkbook to go and get the players that they want. Celtic haven't got that. Celtic's got to search and scour the world over to find a cheap player that can make a difference to them. There's a big difference in, playing for Celtic and playing for Borussia Dortmund. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's not going to change, John, is it? But all we can hope for is a better showing from every individual player, John. That's what we're looking for, a better showing, a better performance and a better result at the end of the day against Atalanta. That's what I'm looking for anyway.
Aye. Well, I think they did. I think they froze, basically. And they never got a chance to flex their muscle because they froze in the big environment. It's as simple as that. But we're not going to go on and on about Celtic and what happened to them.
No.
Well, we are, because we're reading the comments. But anyway, thanks for that. And next up was We Would Never Sell Our Club. It says, we got taught a valuable lesson last night, that the margin for errors against quality teams is very slim, and we got punished for it. And it's a sore lesson that we needed to learn if we're not to get anything out of the next Champions League game against Atalanta. They're a good team, by the way.
Yeah, they're good. We just mentioned them, John. But the start of his point there, John, that's a lesson was learned, John. You can't be slack. You can't be that slack. The downfall started when Bernardo gave the ball away when we were attacking. He passed it straight to a yellow jersey and they scored for it. They got their penalty, John. Straight from that, slack ball from Bernardo straight to a yellow jersey, John. So there is lessons to be learned there, John. We can't afford to be so slack.
Aye. Excuse me. I know you can't afford to be so slack. Look, it was a poor night. We move on. That's all we can say. I'm sure there is lessons learned. There's got to be lessons learned for that. If you're not learning your lesson, then you can forget the Champions League. Simple.
Yeah, John, I think lessons will be learned. I think they have been learned, and I think the players will be angry with themselves, John. And I think you'll see Ross County take the brunt of that on Sunday, and then I think you'll see a totally different Celtic against Atalanta. But we can only wait and see.
We can only wait and see. Thanks for that. We would never sell a club.
Great comment. Thanks, pal.
Roseanne was up next. She says, I'm just glad I didn't watch the game. But I'm not going to fret. Let's move on, lads. We've got footy to play. We'll get over this. Well, I'm over it already, Roseanne. It is what it is. Celtic didn't show up. Simple as that. And they were beat by basically a far superior team. I'm over it.
Yeah, I'm over that, John. I was over it that night, to be honest with you. I was half expecting, a bad result, John. Let's say I was expecting us to get beat. I'm going to be honest with you. I was hoping we were going to win. I said in the preview that we could come out there with something, but it just didn't happen. So we move on.
We came out there with nothing.
No.
Well, thanks for that, Roseanne.
Thanks, Roseanne, pal. And you'll be glad you never watched it because, as John said, it was a hide behind the couch game. So you'll be glad you never watched it, pal.
I switched it off at 3-1. I'd seen enough. I think I watched Laurel and Hardy or something.
Class. No, John, I watched it. As I said, I watched the full thing. But no, we need to park it, John, because I know we need to discuss it because we're talking about comments and people's views. So we'll just quickly run through anybody else that mentions the game on Tuesday, John, to be honest with you.
Rosemary says 3 home wins, we qualify. Well, that's what we've been saying. I think we will get the 3 home wins.
Yeah, the biggest one being Leipzig, the Germans, Leipzig, decent team, aren't they? That's the only stumbling block there, I think. I think there are 2 we'll take care of. But again, only time's going to tell. As Brendan says, John, as Brendan Rodgers says, judge the team at the end of January once the Champions League group stage is finished.
Exactly. So we can only wait and see. Thanks for that. And next up was Rosemary, 3 home wins, we qualify. All right. Well, I just read that, didn't I? So next up was Paul. Losing the plot, Xander. Anyway, Paul McComb was up next. He said, hail, lads, we won't panic. We still have a great chance of qualifying. Sevco still have the record as the worst.
Yeah, that's it. Another comment, and that's Rangers have got to remember that, John, just very quickly. The support before they go into social media and lambast Celtic, for playing away from home in Germany against the Champions League finalists and getting beat heavily. Remember, your club is the worst team in European Cup history since it's ever started.
Aye, well, Celtic's name is actually on the trophy.
Well, we have won the cup. We've won it, John.
It's actually on the trophy. It says that if you look at the trophy and you look at the list of names on it, you'll see Celtic Football Club, 1967. Thank you very much.
Yep, catching.
Thanks for that, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
We would never sell a club, had another comment. So much for my score prediction last night. Well, we all got it wrong. We would never sell a club. I says 2 each. I think Xander says 2-1.
Yeah, I was going for a Celtic win. But, any sort of result would have done, wouldn't it? A draw would say that. But as you say, John, everybody got it wrong. Everybody.
Anyway, she says, so much for my score prediction last night and how wrong I was in thinking Celtic would win. And I'm still recovering from the shock scoreline, but the players need to pick themselves up now. And that starts with a victory over Ross County at the weekend.
Yeah, of course it does. And we're not long to kick off, John. 12 o'clock Sunday. Not long to go. I'm looking forward to it.
Back to reality, Xander.
Yeah, back to normality as well, John.
Aye. And you only wrote that 2 days ago. We would never sell a club. Let us know if you're over it yet. You says you're still recovering, but I'm sure you've recovered now when you've let reality sink in. See it for what it is. We move on. Get back to reality.
Yeah. Yeah, there'll be further tests down the line, so we can all look forward. That's the way I look at it, John. Look forward and steady back.
Well, this is it. Put it behind you and move on. James Doran was up next, and he says, we shot ourselves in the foot for the first 30 minutes with schoolboy errors and a bitter pill to swallow. And we learned a sore lesson last night, but it will make us all the stronger going into the next Champions League game away to Atalanta. Big lesson learnt, James. Schoolboy errors all over the park. Looked like a bunch of guys that had never played together before, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think we said that on the post-match, didn't we? As if it was a team of new players. But, you know, Brendan will obviously know what went wrong, and he'll be trying hard to fix it, John. So we can only trust in the manager and hope we get a better performance and a better result against Atalanta.
Aye. They were playing like the shekels on their feet, Xander. Celtic players, they were so poor, it was unbelievable. And such a good team or not. It's a shame to see that they've got that away from home in Europe syndrome back again. Something's got to change drastically. The style of play has got to change away from home. Brendan keeps saying, I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to change it. I've taught these players to play like that. Why would they go back and undo all that work that I've done? I can see his point, but you've also got to look at the results. You've got to learn to tweak it a wee bit, batter a couple of long balls up the park, look for knock-ons, and at least push Dortmund back. No, Dortmund, any team. Push them. If you're under that much pressure, you've got to change your game. You've got to try and get the team up the park. And you're not going to do that by trying to play it out at the back and getting exposed, getting the ball took off you and losing a goal or nearly conceding a goal, because that's all that happened as far as I could see. I had to switch it off. I couldn't watch it. And I guarantee there was not one long kick out to get Celtic up the park. Get it up the park, get the players up the park and take it from there. There's no point in trying to pass it out for the back, then lose it and lose a goal. It's absolute folly.
Yeah, it's you know, we don't want to talk about them too much, but they got to 2 UEFA Cup finals, John. Rangers, they got to 2 UEFA Cup finals playing the long ball. So I don't think Celtic and Brendan's going to revert to that, but there does have to be some tweaks. I agree with you, John.
You don't have to make everything long ball, but there is times in the games, and especially times when you're under severe pressure and your goalkeeper's got the ball at his feet or in his hands. Get the team pushed up, wave the team to get up the park, and that will push Dortmund back or any other team back. Batter a long ball up, look for a knockdown, look to see if you can get a player on the end of it, especially when you're playing against a team that's got a vulnerable defence like Dortmund. And as far as I'm led to believe, that wasn't tried once in that entire game. So Brendan has, in my opinion, he's got to change it away from home. Something has got to change. Stop passing it out at the back when you're playing against world-class teams. It doesn't work.
No, and the results prove it, John. The results prove that it doesn't work. That is, we'll never ever be a club that plays a long ball game, John. But there is times when you do have to do it. You're right. And there's other things we need to change as well, John. But we'll go into more about that, John, once we do the preview of the Atalanta game, I think.
Aye. Anyway, we'll finish up these comments regarding the midweek game, because it's bringing bad memories back here, Xander.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we're just getting over it and we're bringing it all back.
Aye. It's not really. I'm well over it. Anyway, Michael McKeel was up next. Michael, thanks for a comment, by the way, James.
Thanks, James.
Michael McKeel said, we were beaten, battered, bruised, but like any good man, stand up, brush yourself down and go again. Heartbreaking to watch. Very disappointed.
There wasn't a Celtic support that wasn't disappointed. So, yeah, it's the disappointment's gone. That's a thing in the past. I'm just looking forward to Sunday now, and we take things from there, John, because there's no point in looking back on it. You know, we have to discuss it because of the commenters we're bringing it up, John. But as far as I'm concerned, it's done, started. Atalanta's up next. Another tough away game, I might add, John. 2 away Champions League games in a row. But I think you'll see a different Celtic against them.
I think so. Well, because the game hasn't happened yet, we need to wait and see. But aye, Michael saying we were battered and bruised, etc. It's not like Michael usually leaves a longer comment, like a Galty Mountain boy and all that stuff. So you can tell he's a bit down in the dumps. Keep your head up, Michael. Don't worry about it, mate. We'll be back. Don't you worry about
Yeah, of course we will. Cheers, Michael. Thanks for the comment, Paul.
that. Thanks, Michael. And the final I think there was more comments than that, but for some reason I'm on to the last comment. And I think he's a new guy to the channel, Jerry Regan. You heard him on here before?
No, I've not heard the Jerry, John. What's Jerry saying?
Jerry Regan, welcome to the channel, mate.
Welcome.
And Jerry said, he said, that's the problem. Rodgers thinks by beating Rangers, etc., we are Borussia Dortmund. We don't have the quality to pass around the back at this level. Well, that's what we've just been discussing, Jerry. We don't have the quality to pass it at that level. We've got the quality to play like that in the Scottish Premier League. But when it comes to playing a world-class team like Borussia Dortmund, no get the players to do that, Xander. Something has to change. And the sooner Brendan Rodgers realises that, the better.
Yeah, cheers for the comment, Jerry. And good to have you on the podcast, pal. Keep your comments coming in. We'll always try and read them out. But yeah, John, we just discussed what Jerry said. And it just basically Jerry's agreeing with everything we said.
Exactly, aye. And it's true. I don't think there won't be a happy Celtic fan in the world right now. And I'm sure every single Celtic fan is saying the same thing as what we're saying. Something has to change at that level. You can't go committing suicide at that level. Because that's all it is. You're just shooting yourself in the foot. You're going to get turned over by all these big teams playing like that. It was a pathetic performance. And why Brendan didn't change something, I don't know. I really, really don't know. It should have been, when Casper had the ball, he should have waved the team up the park, I think. At least get us out our own half, you know. Wave the team forward, get up the park, get either on, look for knock-ons, and once the ball's in their half, try and play a bit of football getting forward.
Yeah, try play at the opposite end of the ground, basically.
Aye, exactly, aye. Because you can't spend the entire game playing in your own half, trying to defend, passing it out at the back. It's not working. It just does not work against these big teams. So the sooner Celtic and Brendan Rodgers realise that, the better. And I think he's basically sent the boys out with the wrong tactics, to be honest with you. I think he's got to be going into the games looking at it as surely he can see that it's not working, Xander. Brendan Rodgers, what do you think? Surely he can see that doesn't work against teams like Dortmund.
Yeah, I think he was a bit silly coming out after the game and saying that he's going to keep playing that way, John, because he can't afford to keep playing that way. He's got to change it, and he will change it. So I don't understand why he said that. There's no way he's going to go in against Atalanta and play the exact same way. Atalanta are very, very... In fact, Atalanta got to the UEFA Cup final last year, so yeah, he's going to change it, John. I don't think he was being genuine when he said he was going to keep playing that way. I think there's going to be big changes in the approach to these away games in the Champions League.
Certainly hope you're right, but I don't think so, Xander. I think he's very, very stubborn, Rodgers, when it comes to his style of play. And his words were, I've trained these players for 2 years to play like that. Why would I change it?
Yeah, I think Ange Postecoglou said a similar thing, didn't he? And he got a few batterings in the Champions League as well.
Aye, he never had a 7-1 though. I think Brendan's been on the receiving end of a couple of them, Xander. But we don't want to see your team getting beat by that margin, Brendan, if you ever get around to listening to this, which I doubt. But every Celtic fan does not want to see their team getting battered 7-1 by any team. So something has got to change. We're not saying Brendan's a bad manager, by the way, but I love Brendan Rodgers. I think he does a great job at Celtic. But things have got to change for the games. I'm sure he can see that, Xander. As if the Celtic fans cannot see it, I'm sure he can see it as well.
Yeah, I think I was looking at the Atalanta thing there, John. He's got to change it because Atalanta won the UEFA Cup last year. Was it last year, the year before? I think it was last year. 3-0 against Bayer Leverkusen. And you know how good Bayer Leverkusen are, John? They're a very decent team. So Atalanta are going to give us a game and a half. So Brendan's got to change it. He's got to.
He's got to change something. I'm sure he's done his homework on Atalanta. He obviously looks at the games and thinks we can play out at the back against them. If he's looked at Dortmund and thought we can play out from the back against them, he's got to take a reality check and realise that we're a Scottish team. We're no a Spanish team. We can't play like the big teams. We've not got the players to do that. And I'm sure every Celtic fan will admit that. We haven't got the players to compete in the Champions League, basically. We're all right beating teams like Bratislava. We'll have a wee go at them. But we're not a Champions League level team, Xander. That's plain for everybody to see.
Yeah. All right, John, then. That'll do it then. We've spoke about that enough. Is that the last of the comments, buddy?
That's it.
All right. Okay. Thanks very much, John, for reading them. I know it's a bit doom and gloom just to end the podcast on, but it was a doom and gloom night. So the commenters want to talk about it. So we talk about it. We bring up the comments. We talk about it. So, okay, John, let's park that and let's a wee final sum up for Sunday then. A wee sum up, John. Let's raise the mood a wee bit, John. What are you thinking? Give us your final thoughts for Sunday.
Just do what we all want, and that's Celtic owe the fans a big performance, because that was a sore one for the fans to take. And you're not going to make it up to the fans with a box of roses and a card. It's a big performance that we need. We need a big performance for Celtic, and I'm sure Celtic will be able to make it up to the fans. They're going to want to get back out in the pitch as soon as possible and put it right, Xander. And I think we're going to have a pretty comfortable afternoon.
Yeah, okay. All right, John. Okay, that wraps it up. By the way, Angie's biggest defeat, I think, was against Real Madrid, wasn't it? But anyway, that wraps it up, John. Good luck to Celtic on Sunday. That's vital. We get the 3 points. Move clear of Aberdeen and Rangers. 8 points clear of Rangers and 3 points clear of Aberdeen with a win. And both the teams play later on the Sunday. So good luck to the boys. Chin up, lads. Chin up, everybody as well. Just forget about last Tuesday. We move on. We've got to move on. There's bigger games coming up, John. More important games coming up in the league, domestically and in Europe. You know, winnable games we need to win to have a chance of qualifying for the last 16 and continuing the dominance in Scottish football. So, okay, John, we'll wrap that up there. Thanks for coming on, buddy. We'll see you for the post-match on Monday.
See you Monday, Xander. Hail, mate.
John, hail, pal. I'll see you later.